Welcome back to Closing Time with Nick El-Tawil. I am once again Nick El-Tawil, and I'm here with my guest today, Laura Madden, the artist from Phoenix, Arizona. How are you, Laura?
I'm great. I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Now, when I first came out here, I saw you on So Scottsdale, all the magazines and stuff, and then I actually went to your house for some,
You
just
did.
showed up at your house, and you had all your paintings there. Like you have so many.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much work you've done.
Yes. A lot.
Um, and I actually bought a painting from you
You
because
did.
you came up to my face. You're like, "You want to buy one?" I'm like, "Well, I'm at your
I
house.
knew. I
I might as
knew.
well buy one from
I
you."
knew there was one there for you. I just knew there is a piece here for Nick, and he's not leaving without one.
Um,
But we found it.
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
definitely a hustler. If you ever want to sell real estate, by the way, you could do it. But no, I kept that painting around, and I was waiting for the right person to give it to, and then it took a while, but I eventually I sold the house, and I'm like, this painting would match this house,
Love
and I
that.
gave it away, and that's my go-to gift as a real estate agent. If someone buys a house, I like to give them a piece of art because it's permanent, it stays up in their home, and they'll think of me.
It's very savvy.
Hmm.
I think it's very savvy, and like what a very very sweet and touching gift. Instead of like a gift basket or
Or
what
wine or something,
wine.
they'll drink and
We
throw
all
away.
have like plenty of wine. So
Hmm.
I think it's very, very touching. And you've done that a few times now.
Hmm.
I think it's so cool. Or at least,
I
gifting
did
my
that way
art.
back in the day too.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the best gift I ever got someone, he was a guitar collector, and I just got super lucky on this sale. I got, both sides, it sold right away. And so I said, okay, I'll get him a nice gift. I got him a Martin guitar because he didn't have a Martin. Of
Wow.
all the guitars he had, he didn't have a Martin. I think I dropped like, I don't want to say the number, but it was definitely the most expensive gift I got anyone.
Wow. That's super thoughtful. No, it's
Thank
very
you.
savvy. It's very savvy. I like it. And you thought of me, so I really like it.
So how long have you been painting?
So I have been creating art just about my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And when, when I got married and, we bought our first home, I got a little bit more serious about painting because then I was creating art for our homes,
Mm-hmm.
but only for our homes, only for myself. And I really was kind of like a closet painter. I wouldn't even have considered it a hobby because I didn't take it seriously. I didn't take my passion seriously. So it's been many, many, many years that I've been painting or creating art, I should say. But it was just the end of 2019, I decided to pursue this professionally and to actually share my art with the world, put myself out there as an artist, start a business, and and to actually sell it. So that was a big scary step, but we are so 2025. It's like
Mm-hmm.
almost 6 years, almost 6 years that I decided to start. And at first it was like very part time. I was like, all right, I'll try it. I'm going to tiptoe. And then, the pandemic hit. And so it was like I had so much extra creative time, we all did. And so I really took advantage of that. And I did start creating a lot more. I created a lot of paintings during that time. And but then very, very slowly, I finally made the decision to do the really scary thing and to go full time. So really now my full time work is as an artist,
Mm-hmm.
and I am right now self represented. So I sell out of my home. I have a home studio, and so
And it's packed with art,
it's packed with
packed with
art. It's
paintings.
packed with paintings. And in addition to that, I have displays around town where I have additional work. So all I want to do is make art, which I know I've shared with you. But then there's the business side. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not all I do, but all I want to do is make art.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Maybe eventually I'll get to that point where all I am doing is art, not, my own business.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I would consider myself still a new artist,
Okay.
professionally,
Mm-hmm.
just 6 years, that's still, I think, considered emerging, I
Mm-hmm.
would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is why my prices are so low,
um,
right?
yeah, she's got some good ones.
Yeah,
She's also got some big ones.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
got a good
There's a
range.
range. There's a
Nice
range.
range,
There's a
yeah.
range. Yeah.
Um, so 6 years painting. Do you have a specific style that you like the most?
You know what? I would consider my body of work abstract modern,
Mm-hmm.
but I do painting and sculpture.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that I think has the most, heat for me right now, the most energy is my sculptural works. And so these are essentially 3D wall, sculptures, and I collect, a whole range of materials, wood, canvas, metal, um, all kinds of things that I will curate and use for the creation of these sculptural pieces. And so, using reclaimed materials, discarded items, a lot of commonly disreputable items like household goods, home textiles, stuff like that. It really mirrors these themes of reinvention and new beginnings, second chances, as well as, alchemy, the alchemy of creating something out of nothing and, resurrecting value in these items that are no longer valued because a lot of them are essentially or were heading to the trash. So that's a huge, huge passion of mine. My paintings, my 2D work is also mainly created using reclaimed materials, salvaged items, but it feels a little bit deeper with the sculptural works because it is a little bit more of a hunt to, almost like hunt and gather and curate those items to use for the sculptural materials because, there's so much more voluminous and there's just so much more depth and dimension to those. Like, for instance, one of my latest series was made using these deconstructed screen doors. I salvaged them from a building site, which, if you ever see someone throwing out, certain things, I want you to call me. But I deconstructed these screen doors that were obviously, bent. They weren't able, you know, to be useful as a door,
Mm-hmm.
but I pulled them apart and it's a huge part of this new body of work. And it feels so purpose driven for me to have saved those items, and truly creating this original piece of art out of something that completely was disvalued.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think I saw that with your heart paintings too.
Yes.
Those
Yes.
weren't paintings. Those were, what would you call that? A sculpture?
Yeah, it is a sculpture,
Mm-hmm.
but essentially it's a painting. I guess a traditionalist would call it a painting because I did paint the fabric, but that was reclaimed fabric, cotton
Mm-hmm.
fabric on wood. So those were wood remnants, it was cotton fabric
That's what I
remnants.
see when I go to the galleries. Oh, cotton fabric on wood.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
exactly, exactly. And then I had them custom framed, but I did paint them. So I think
Mm-hmm.
people would essentially call them a painting.
Mm-hmm.
But those were fun, and there's still a few more of those left. But that was a really cool limited edition collection I did because the heart is just this universal symbol for compassion and acceptance and optimism and obviously love. And I started that last fall, and it's like such a heated time in the world. So I just thought I really want to create something small, something very giftable because it was like the holidays, but something that just can spread this message of really good vibes,
Mm-hmm.
all good vibes. And that's really, what a lot of it comes down to, helping people feel good, helping people feel happy, more like themselves, and like they're living their best lives when they have my art in their home.
Mm-hmm. I think the best art, and granted, I'm not exactly a connoisseur or anything, but I do
I consider
appreciate
you a
art.
total
I
connoisseur.
appreciate art, and I like to go to galleries and I like to see what's there. I think when you look at something and you actually feel something immediately, that's what makes it good.
Yep.
It's not about, oh, did they paint this or did they do the right brushstrokes? Does it make you feel
Right.
something?
Right. I love that
If
you
it's
said that because I don't do any of the right brushstrokes. I mean, I'm completely self-taught. Like I am completely there is no strategy. I mean, I work very intuitively, so maybe there are names for the type of techniques that I use, but it's
you
very
don't know what they
intuitive.
are.
I don't know what they are. So who cares? But I'm able to achieve this certain aesthetic and just this like frequency that, they just feel a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
They feel a certain way when you're in their presence, and it really is like good. You're living your best life, and they're high vibe.
Mm-hmm. So, no formal training, all
No.
self taught, but you've been
Yeah.
doing this since a young age.
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, I was, super creative. Most
Mm-hmm.
kids are. Um, and so I just played. I just played. I wasn't serious. I wasn't, trying to show my art or anything like that. But, as I got older and started creating art for myself, I got more serious and more diligent, but still, it wasn't like I was going and taking classes. It wasn't like I was studying, techniques. How do I create this? I would just go and do it. And a lot of the times, it was really just using what I had, what I could find, around my home. I always had art supplies because I was, because I loved art so much, there was always something there, but it really was like, I'm going to create a piece for this wall and I'm going to just use what I have and let's see what I can get.
I
So
love
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's how I do real estate. I just go out and I
Yes.
do things.
Yeah.
There's no formal training. There's no
Right.
anything. You just got to do it and figure it out.
Yeah. Resourceful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Just use your brain.
So, okay, so you were painting from a young age. 6 years ago, decided to take it seriously. How many paintings would you say you've done since you started
Oh
to take
my
it
gosh.
seriously?
Well, let me see. Oh my
Paintings,
goodness.
sculptures, all of them combined.
Oh my gosh. So I think, I document everything, I catalog everything. And actually, paintings that I've completed and actually listed or have sold, I think I'm like over 400.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's over 400. And then I have more that I just
So it's one a week that you're selling.
not quite, but that's the goal. Not quite, but yeah, over 400 that
Mm-hmm.
I've actually completed.
Mm-hmm.
And but there's still a good amount that I have not documented just because I don't feel they're quite done, but
Mm-hmm.
they're pretty much done. And then I did just start a whole new collection. I probably have at least half a dozen that are done and ready to go. They're hanging on my wall, but I haven't cataloged them yet.
Do you ever feel like something is done, or do you have to cut yourself off?
I have a feeling, and it's a weird feeling, and people always ask about this, and it is a tricky thing as an artist. Like, when is it done?
Mm-hmm.
Um, for me, if my hands are restless, like if I'm working on something and my hand, like I just can't keep my hands off of it, then I
Mm-hmm.
know it's not done. There's something
You
that,
feel it.
yeah, there's something that still needs to be done here. But if I feel like I can step away and my hands are not restless, like I can just let it be and it feels good, then it's done. But it's a tricky thing because
Mm-hmm.
there's no guidebook. How do you know if it's done? And different people different experts would say, that's not done. Or another person might say, don't touch it. That's a completed piece. So it's so tricky. So for me, it is totally a feel, but
Mm-hmm.
it's something about like my hands, like if they're restless, then it's not done. I need to
Mm-hmm.
like keep going at it.
So when I used to make music, I had if I like went back to a track, I would always want to tweak something. Oh, I need to change this and that. And I had to just say no, okay, this is done. I'm not touching this again.
Yeah.
But maybe art is different because you can't only paint over something so many times, right?
Right,
Right.
right. But I do love painting over things. I have
Yeah.
I have done that. I have done that. But yeah, it's interesting because, I think when you are making a piece, I mean, of course a commission, that's like a very serious thing where you have
Mhm.
to really pay attention to when is it done. But, it is fun to play as well. And so like there's some things where it's like, is this practice? Some pieces are like, this is just practice. I'm just experimenting
Mhm.
and, perfecting certain things. But that is such a hard question, and they do not teach you that in art school.
No.
I know because you can't, like, it's so subjective.
Mhm.
It's the same. It's just as bad of a dilemma as is this good art or not?
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I would like make something. I feel really good about it. Go to sleep. Next day, you wake up, you listen to it. I'm like, oh, I should have changed that kick.
Right. Oh
Gotta
my
change that snare
god.
drum. It doesn't sound the right.
Yes.
So.
Although I will say sometimes it might take me 6 months to decide.
Mhm.
And I'll hang something on my wall and like if like 6 months go by, say, and I'm just like in love with it, or like if enough people walk into my home and like fall in love with the piece and I'm like, okay, I cannot touch this, even though I might want to, then that's like my sign. Enough people are drawn to it. But I might hang something on my wall 6 months later, I'm taking it off the wall and I'm back in the studio and I'm working it. That happens. Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
So I'm working with Jensen here, and we make video content. It's for real estate, but you still have to be creative for it.
Yeah.
And I don't even watch the stuff he sends me because I know I would like nitpick things. I don't want to. Jensen sent it to me. I'm posting it. That's it.
Video's the worst because no one likes to hear themselves.
Nope.
No, like
I do
it's
not like watching myself.
that's you do a good job.
Oh, thank you.
You
You're
do a
so
yeah,
kind.
I'm validating you totally. You do a good job.
So, was there ever any thought of you hooking up with a gallery and maybe they sell your art? You're very good at the business side. Like, I'm not saying you need that.
You know what? And I do part of it I do love because
Mm-hmm.
it's a game.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's part of me that is amused by that and so challenged by it. But I am at the point where all I want to do is make art.
Mm-hmm.
And so much of my time goes to the business side of the business.
Mm-hmm.
And I really I want to spend way more of my time making art. So I am at the point where I am, I'm entertaining the idea of working with a gallery. Of course, it has to be the right fit, which I think is the trickiest part because
Mm-hmm.
there's so many galleries and there's so many great galleries. So I am looking for a gallery that, to partner with so that I can spend more of my time on the creation of the art and
Mm-hmm.
less worrying about, where am I hanging this, selling it, finding the collector that, is going to fall in love with it. So yeah, it's a tricky thing though because it I do enjoy that part, but there's only so much time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it's coming down to. There's only so much time.
Right. Right. And that's why I think you never saw like independent music artists really make it. You need the major label to do that work
Right.
for you.
Right. So true.
So how do
Yeah.
galleries work with that? Do they do like your social media content, or are they just pretty much they hang it up and they bring the
It's
curators and
so
all that?
different.
Yeah.
And you'll see galleries, especially galleries here, you'll see some of them who are like super active on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And they're out there. And then there's some who are very quiet, but they might have a huge collector base all over the world. They don't, so it's so different. But I don't assume turning my work over to a gallery that they are going to handle my social media. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, can you imagine how wonderful? I mean, I might pay more, I might contribute more of my commission, for that, but usually I don't think that's the case.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
just curious how that works.
Yeah, I don't think
So the
so.
art world still lagging behind on the social media. Not for the artists, but for the galleries.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll let you put those words out there. But
um,
yeah.
Now I heard art commissions are very high. Like for the gallery, if they're selling art, they make what, 25, 50%?
I think the industry standard is 50%, but some of them are different. I've had some galleries that, it's like 60-40, 70-30, but industry standard is 50%.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a good chunk.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
a
good
lot of
chunk.
money.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I have always heard that and wanted to find a way to incorporate art into my real estate business because those commissions are so high.
Yeah.
Um, you really have to have the real estate thing going
Yeah.
strongly before you can really do that. So I haven't
Right.
had the real opportunity yet.
I love the vision though because it
Yeah.
makes sense.
I mean, where do people hang their art? In their house. Like they
Completely.
want for me.
Completely. And the home inside and out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's I love the vision. It's going to come together eventually,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
One day.
Yeah. It's great.
Well, I think that was the idea behind Sotheby's, because Sotheby's has a real estate company.
Yes.
And they're
Yes.
also the oldest auction house
Right.
ever.
Right.
So I think it's always kind of been there,
Yeah.
but no one really does it on a personal scale. Like for Sotheby's, it's just branding. Like the two companies are actually different companies, the art and the real estate.
Interesting.
So,
Interesting.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I want to see it come together because I think it would be very helpful for my business, of course.
um, so, okay, 6 years in, you're selling art on your own. You're all over the place. You're on So Scottsdale magazine. You're on billboards. What's next?
You know what? It's so funny. I am starting a new website. So it's kind of like a new chapter, a bit of
Mm-hmm.
a new chapter. 6 years in, it's almost like a little bit of that 7-year itch type of thing where it is kind of like, what's next? And so I think for me, starting a whole new website, new URL, it's a little bit, I can almost say new branding. I think gallery representation is potential.
Mm-hmm.
That's potentially part of this next chapter. But I really also want to partner more with designers. I'm doing a lot of work with designers, and I really love that cohesion where you're helping them bring their vision to life, as well as them, they're kind of like challenging me to bring, deeper parts of my talent to life.
Mm-hmm.
So more designer collaborations. Eventually, something that's always been in the back of my mind has been um, almost like a product collaboration, a product line, because I do love products. I am a consumer, so I'm not totally sure what that will look like just yet. I do have rugs. I have designed a small collection of rugs with David E. Adler Rugs here in Scottsdale, and they, picked some of my paintings that they reproduced onto rugs. And that's been really, really cool. Also, really opened my mind to the possibilities. So, whether it's like a wall covering or fabric, because I love fabrics so much. I'm not quite sure what that looks like yet, but that's something I would love to see come to fruition. And I think it's something that's probably going to happen organically. David Adler reached out to me. He saw my work. I don't know if it was Facebook, or I think it was Facebook actually. And it just kind of came together. But that's something I would love to see. I would love to expand upon that into
Mm-hmm.
other areas of the home, because at the end of the day, there's only so many people who actually need art for their walls. There's so many people who's, they love art but their walls are full, or they
Mm-hmm.
just can't afford that.
That was my mom.
So right, I
Yeah,
mean,
my
like, how
mom
many pieces can
couldn't
you?
couldn't even have people over when I was a kid because we had so much art. They'd knock it
Wow,
over.
it's amazing. But there's so many of those people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they love your art, like some of your biggest fans. It's like, I don't have any walls left. And they literally don't. They don't, because I've been to some of their homes and they're not lying. So it's like, okay, how else can I share my art with these people? How else can they enjoy it? How else can they have that vibration in their lives, part of their life, but they don't have to move something, displace something from their wall or cover a window just to get something else in there.
Just get rid of the TV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah, who needs
know.
that?
Which I totally am open to. My husband's
Yeah,
like,
I don't watch my TV at all.
oh my God, I would totally cover the TV, but he just wants a bigger TV. And I'm like, no, we need more walls.
Sports guy.
Sport, yeah,
Yeah.
mostly sports,
Yeah.
movies too, but mostly sports.
Yeah. Sports are the one thing that you need to watch because they're live.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Just, yeah.
Um, did you go to Scottsdale Ferrari Art Week?
I did. I did. It was cool. Did you go?
I did. I went with Jensen day one. We made a video.
Oh, I have to look at that.
It was actually super cool. I was mad
Yeah.
we couldn't go more days.
Well, I actually only was there opening night,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was out of town, so I didn't get to go back. So I really
But that
don't
was the
feel like
best night.
it was the
This is
best
when they had the
night.
dinner. Yeah.
It was really
Mm-hmm.
fun. It was really cool. But I would have liked to have gone back to have really digested
Mm-hmm.
all of the art, because it was so packed that first night. But it was just cool. I'm happy to see that happening here,
Me too.
because it's like a huge seed has been planted for the industry in general. If that continues to grow, just bringing more and more like global industry here.
Absolutely. It
Yeah.
reminded me of like a New York City event,
Yes.
except there were Ferraris too. They
Yeah.
didn't have Ferraris in New York City. They couldn't fit those in the gallery.
Yeah, I know. I know. That was very cool. A lot of sculpture. But yeah, I would love to be a part of it next year. So
Same.
yeah, so I'll have to plant the seeds. I'll plant the seeds.
You hear that, guys? Laura
Planting
Madden
the seeds.
and get Nick El-Tawil and Jensen
Yes.
Canijo a media pass.
Yeah, maybe we'll just get our own booth. We can just get our own booth.
How much is a booth?
It's a good question. I thought you would know. I thought you would know.
Yeah, actually, there was a real estate company there sponsoring when I was there.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was Altman Brothers, Griggs Group.
Oh, okay.
They weren't there. They had like their little minions there, but
I didn't notice it.
yeah, it was like tucked away in a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have a prime location by any means.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Huh. Cool.
But yeah, I actually gave my tickets away to a friend of mine, and he loved it because it was cars for him and art for his wife. It was like the perfect marriage.
Yeah. I know. It's like, how could you not want to buy a ticket when there's, yeah, so much industry? Yeah.
So I heard that Scottsdale was originally a town for wealthy artists to get second homes. Does that ring a bell to you or no?
Oh my gosh. Way before my time. I
Yeah.
don't know. I love that though.
Yeah, I've heard it a few times, and it doesn't really vibe with my family's history because my great grandpa, he wasn't super rich, and he moved here in 1960. So, um, but there's Frank Lloyd Wright, and
Yes,
then
right.
what's the one in Paradise Valley? The oh
Arcosani?
man, Arco Santi,
Yeah.
yes. So there's little things like that.
Right, right. You're right.
So we have a decent history of art.
Yes, we definitely do. We definitely do. I mean, I think it's changing so much because we do have so much more of this contemporary art influence,
Hmm.
which I love because that's, my thing, but there still is a lot of traditional art, a lot of southwestern art that
Yeah.
is very popular here and sells very, very quickly.
So Old Town used to have more art
I
galleries than
know.
New York City per capita.
Yeah.
Not overall, per capita. And then a bunch closed down after 2008. And originally, because my grandma used to go to those art galleries, they were like all Southwestern art. Are you seeing more modern contemporary art pop up
Yes.
now?
Yes, totally.
Hmm.
I think, I mean, I can't, think of all the people moving here from the East Coast
Hmm.
or from metropolitan areas in California. So it's like that can't not influence
Hmm.
what is showing up here.
Right.
So I do feel like, yeah, there's a lot more, which is exciting because, that's what I love. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm studying now. And that's, what I create as well.
Hmm.
So that's a lot more exciting for me. If I was more of a traditional painter and, could do the landscapes and all that, then I might feel differently. But, my art is very avant garde. It is unusual. It is, it's definitely, I would say, ultra contemporary, most of it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So where we are at right now, the Riva Yarez Gallery, which is now Empire Scottsdale, she was the only contemporary art dealer in the 70s until she passed away.
So
Only one in Old Town.
fascinating. She must have been like a rebel.
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
was.
people must have thought, "Whoa, who's this rogue?" Businesswoman here. But that's very cool. It's very cool. I wish I could have, I wish I could step back in time and have experienced her, influence here.
Same. Are you from AZ?
No, I'm from Boston.
From
I'm
Boston.
from Boston. My husband's from Boston. All of our family's there.
When'd you move here?
2018, but we're back for the second time.
Hmm.
We lived here in the past for a little bit and we just loved it so much. And then, my husband's been transferred all over the country so many times. And then we had this kind of like um this opportunity just popped up out of nowhere to come back here and we were like, "Oh my gosh, we can't pass this up," because we knew we wanted to get back here eventually. This is
Yeah.
the best place we have lived out of anywhere in the country. And I've not lived outside of the US,
Hmm.
but around the US, I mean, this is the best. The weather is wonderful for me. I know the summer can be a little brutal, but it's like it's so easy to travel here.
You just get away.
It's so easy to travel. And even northern Arizona, if you go a couple hours, it's like 20 degrees cooler.
Hmm.
So it's, you know, I don't know.
My one Boston story. So this is when I was in New York City,
Oh no.
and my sister, she was getting her master's, so she decided to go to
Where?
Boston University.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
was so stoked. I'm like, you know what? I haven't really hung out in Boston that much. I'm gonna hang out with Allie. It'll be super fun. I took the train. I helped her find her apartment.
Oh my goodness.
She lasted one semester. Transferred to Arizona State.
What? You're
One
kidding.
semester.
Why? Too rough?
She couldn't do the cold.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding. It's
One
not that
semester.
bad.
One
I mean, it's
semester.
bad. It's bad. It's bad. But I mean, I can't imagine leaving. I mean, I grew up in it. I survived.
She definitely chickened out.
Oh
Like,
my
at least stick it
gosh.
out for the whole degree or
Oh
maybe
my,
transfer after a year.
right. 4 years?
One semester.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. That's stupid.
So I didn't spend much time in Boston after that.
Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. You should go back though, because you should go back
It's like,
in the summer. Go back
yeah, in the summer.
or the fall.
Yeah, fall's beautiful.
Yeah,
In New
fall's
England.
beautiful. Summer can be very humid and rainy,
Mhm.
but yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt like it was very college vibes. Like, because when we went out, everybody would be, oh, I go to Harvard. Oh, I
There's
go to
so many colleges.
MIT.
There's so
Yeah.
many colleges, and it is like a small, it's a small area,
Mhm.
geographically, but um
I'm sure there's high end stuff.
completely.
Yeah, there has to be.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
old money.
Completely. So I take it you didn't see any of that.
No,
Yes.
no. I saw a
Yes.
walk-up apartment that I helped my sister get. So,
Oh my gosh. No, there's very high end stuff. You went
hmm
back now. There's plenty of that
hmm
there. Yes. It's like a mini New York. I
yeah, yeah,
always
yeah.
felt growing up there, I always felt like it was a mini New York.
It was the original, right? Didn't Boston come before New York City?
Pretty sure. No,
They landed on Plymouth
no.
Rock.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a good question. I should know that. I should totally know that, but I'll have to look it up.
It's all right. We're Arizona. That's
Yeah.
what matters now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're here. We love it here. And but it's grown so much. And there's
hmm
so many people who have come out here from Boston. So
hmm
sometimes like I'll be out somewhere and I'm meeting tons of people who are also from Boston. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is so weird." Like I'm not the only one who's, escaped out here, but it's funny. It's just a different temperament.
hmm
It's definitely a little bit slower. It's everything is hyped up a lot more as it gets so much more crowded here, but it's I don't know. It's just the vibe is different, and it's hard to like drive in Boston after being
Oh yeah.
here, where it's just like it's a little more tepid. It's
hmm
a little more tame, but it's getting crowded. It's getting crowded. I'm sure you love that as a realtor, but it's getting crowded.
North Scottsdale is getting very crowded, I feel
Very.
like.
Oh my gosh.
Old Town, I'm actually fine in Old Town. I don't have
Yeah.
any complaints about Old Town.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a great area. This is
And
cool.
where you live too.
Yeah. I
Yeah, I think your area is great too.
I love it too, but getting more crowded. Global ambassador and all this is like
Yeah,
they're building it.
yeah.
So, but I'm in my little bubble. It feels like I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere from my backyard, but you go outside that neighborhood and it's like,
Yeah, you're right there.
yeah, yeah. And lots of home for sales, don't forget. Tell your clients there are lots of homes for sale in my neighborhood, which is so strange.
I actually had clients from LA. They just went under contract on a place. I wanted to take them to your neighborhood. I don't think they could have gotten something renovated for the price they wanted.
Yeah. The prices are, yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the houses for the renovated ones in your place are sky high.
Yes.
Then there's a bunch
Yes.
that are older and they're fine.
But
But
yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
but no, they ended up it's technically Paradise Valley, but it's like right next to Old Town.
Oh.
So they can walk to Optima.
Oh, that's
It's like right there.
awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's very nice. The walkability.
hmm
We don't have that. Yeah.
Arizona doesn't really have that. Did Boston have that?
No.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, if you're in the city, like I mean, not the suburb where I ended up like going to high school and stuff. Wasn't really walkable, but yeah, in the city, yes, for
hmm
sure. For sure.
People live there
Yes.
without cars.
I don't know
Not
any.
really.
I mean, that's kind of like a thing of the past,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
sure there are.
Okay.
Because there's public transportation.
Yeah, yeah.
There's like trains and buses, subway. So yeah, I'm sure there are.
hmm
You could do it. You could probably do it there. Here it's like, yeah, I'm in
I
my
wouldn't want
car.
to do it here.
I'm in my car every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like walking, but when summer
Same.
hits,
Well, I know not in
I'm
July.
turning that AC
Not in
on.
July, no, because you can't wear anything. You can't go anywhere because then you're gonna be like destroyed. Yeah.
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 So Laura, you got anything else
Yes.
for us today?
You know what? Visit my new website, Laura Madden Studio, lauramaddenstudio.com, and check
And
me
her
out
new
on.
Gmail?
Yes, my new my new Gmail. And Instagram is probably the best way. I'm probably most active on there. Laura Madden Studio at Laura Madden Studio. So keeping it simple. And yeah, reach out to me. I'm open for commissions. And if you are looking for art, come see me.
She won't let you walk away without one.
we
I
will
promise.
find we will find the perfect piece for you.
Thanks, guys.